Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. A quick warning before we begin. In this story there is mention of grooming, homophobia and a physical altercation. So if those are topics that may be uncomfortable for you, you might want to skip the story. Now let's get started. This post is from the subreddit True of My Chest and it's by user OskMark. After a 9-year relationship, I, 28 male, found out that my boyfriend, 29 male, cheated on me with my sister, 19 female. My family is on their side. Before I start, I want to apologize for my grammar. I'm not very good at English. I know how to read it, but I'm very bad at writing and redacting. So, I grew up in a very traditional home, but since I started puberty, I realized that I didn't like girls that much. It took me a lot, but when I was 17, I finally realized and accepted I am gay. My brother, 24 male, but 13 back then, and my sister, 19 female, but then she was 8, took it very well. Nothing changed between us. Maybe they still were too young, but they totally accepted me. My mother, after a lot of time and questioning me a million times if I was sure or if it wasn't a phase, just told me to be careful. And my father wasn't happy at all, and still isn't. 2 years later, I met a guy and totally fell in love with him. We started a relationship and I believed he was perfect. I loved him and we started to live together 3 years ago. Living together was a dream. We matched almost perfectly in almost everything. I loved him, cared for him, and he made me feel safe, loved, and cared for. But then, a couple of months ago, I took my phone and headed to the bathroom. I take a lot of time there and usually use my phone to play or watch videos. While I was there, I noticed I took the wrong phone. We have matching cases. I bought them for our anniversary. I just opened YouTube and started watching videos. When I was done, the phone got a notification, a text from my sister. Unconsciously, I opened it, believing it must be something important since she was contacting him. I wasn't ready for what I saw. It was a nude. I'm not proud of what I did. I never looked into his phone before, but I started scrolling through their conversation. I was in tears, furious. There were a lot of nudes, sexting, and even a couple of sex videos of the two of them. I felt so disgusted, sick, and humiliated. He had been cheating for months with my freaking sister? Those images are now burned inside my brain. I rushed to him and told him about what I saw. He didn't realize until I threw his phone at him with their conversation open. He tried to calm me down, saying that it wasn't what I was thinking. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I jumped him and started punching him, screaming about him sleeping with my sister. It was horrible. We broke up, but after that, things just got worse. I moved back to my parents' house, and the first thing that happened when I arrived was my sister slapping me in the face with all her strength for what happened. All my family knew about it, and for some reason, almost everyone was on my sister's side. At first, I got some support, and they were telling me it was okay to feel hurt, but that didn't last long until everyone started to be on my sister's side when, a few days later, they started their relationship officially. My mom said I can't be mad at them because you don't choose who you fall in love with, and that I should let it go and forgive and be happy for their happiness. That is in an I'm not okay about how it happened, but at least she is happy with a good guy mood. Almost everyone is just waiting for me to accept it and be happy for them. As if these last 9 years never happened, like if they never hurt me in the worst way possible. My sister believes she didn't do anything wrong and that she has no fault for them falling in love. She even posted on her Instagram a story with the text, "Don't let your boyfriend stop you to meet your true love." My now ex tried to apologize. He said he never meant to hurt me, but he couldn't avoid it. That through the years he found out he was bi. He even told me he still loves me and doesn't want to lose me, and even dared to suggest a polyamorous relationship. I almost punched him in the face again. The only one that has been on my side since all of this started is my brother. He has been my best friend and biggest support these days. He is just as mad as me with everything that happened. The first time he saw him after this happened, he punched my ex in the stomach as hard as he could. He says my ex is a horrible person and also a weird and disgusting creep because how could he do this with a girl he had known since she was an 11-year-old kid? Now, things have just been worse. I was forced to spend Christmas with my family and both of them were there. Everyone just expected me to be happy and celebrate, and I received a lot of death glares and bad comments about me ruining the mood and to get over it and stop being dramatic. My mom even told me that, if you can't at least be polite, you better leave, after I refused to take a family photo with them next to me. I don't know what to do or how to handle this anymore. I'm still feeling hurt and betrayed, but everyone just keeps telling me to ignore these last 9 years and get over it. I don't know what to do. How can I handle this? How can I accept it? How can I move on? Oh, OP, I am so sorry for everything you're going through. This absolutely sucks. To say that your boyfriend is the crap that scum would need to scrape off their feet is an insult to that crap. There's a lot I could say about him, but I don't want to spend 3 hours ranting about a disgusting creep. I'll just put it this way. If I would have been next to you when he said that disgusting thing about being in a polyamorous relationship with you and your sister, ew, and you would have punched him, even though I don't condone violence, in this case I would have given you all the high fives in the world. Also, your dad must be some very special kind of idiot to say that your disgusting piece of trash ex is a good guy. And your mom, I'm sorry, but she could go get bent right next to your dad. Bottom line, OP, is your whole family sucks except for your brother. He's awesome. Now to your questions. How do you accept it? You don't. And how do you handle it? First, you move out and then you go no contact with all of them, except for your brother, of course. I wouldn't see them as family because family doesn't do this kind of crap to you, and you are absolutely right to feel hurt and betrayed. Now, regarding your sister, OP, this is a little bit difficult for me because even though I do understand and I want you to go no contact with all of them, including her, because it's best for your mental health, I don't know if being angry at her would be considered victim blaming because she was groomed. Even though I do feel that by now, she should understand everything that's going on and what happened to her and should cut contact with that piece of trash. So yeah, what do you guys think about this whole situation? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. In the box already says, your feelings of hurt and betrayal are valid. I would not talk to my sister or ex again. Who needs these kind of people in my life? They are crappy people and you don't have to have people like this in your life, and your family is wrong for not being sensitive to your hurt. And OP responds, thanks. Having everyone around me telling me I'm the wrong one had made me doubt about everything. I don't want to talk to them again. Ellen Ripley is an icon says, you are not in the wrong. Your parents and sister are disgusting for gaslighting you like this. I hope you can get far away from them and go no contact. I'm so sorry, OP. It really feels like their homophobia is taking the wheel and they're just punishing you. There is a special place in hell for sanctimonious emotional abusers like this that destroy your personhood and call it family. As for your ex, he is simply trash, complete and utter bin juice mixed with banana skins, leaking all over the kitchen floor as you take it outside of the curb, where it belongs. You are right to be hurt, to feel betrayed, and to not want to make this magically okay for everyone. I'm so sorry, and I hope you can heal and move on from this and these people. Sending you love and strength. Kisses. And OP responds, thank you so much. I really needed to read an answer like this. I'm totally going no contact after I move, except for my brother. Distinct Voice 1022 says, OP, move out as soon as you can. This pseudo relationship will explode and they will try to put the blame on you. A cheater will always be a cheater. You vacated the boyfriend place, but now the lover's place is again open. Don't believe for a second that your cheating a-hole will stop having his affairs. And OP responds, I'm already working and moving out, and after that, I'm going no contact with all of them. Additional information from OP's comments. Right now, I'm still at my parents' house. I found a new place, but I can't move until the second week of February. Now, my brother is the only one who had supported me, but he is away studying. We text a lot and he calls me almost every day. Even if it's just a 3-minute call, it means the world to me. And sends me memes and videos that he knows will make me smile. I have thought about therapy and sounds like a good option. I asked my parents why they weren't mad about the age gap between them several weeks ago before even thinking about the grooming, and they said it's not a big deal. Most of the married couples of their generation have 5 to 10 years of age gap. And also, my dad believes my ex is a good guy because he doesn't smoke, drink, or do drugs and has a job. Now, I have been thinking a lot regarding my sister being groomed, and it just makes it worse because that would mean my ex is a disgusting creep and a predator. I'm afraid he'll keep manipulating her. Despite everything, she is still my sister. I don't want to see her, but I also don't want her to be hurt by him. Does that make sense? I don't know if my parents have grandbaby fever and that's why they don't see anything wrong with that relationship, or it's just because it's a hetero relationship. I tried telling them about how it's not right, and my brother tried too, but it's like they just can't comprehend what is wrong with that. Maybe it's because she was always the princess of the house and she's really attached to our parents. I also tried to talk to her about it, but she took it like I was being the dramatic jealous ex and didn't believe me. Right, well, the community gave OP pretty much the same advice: go no contact, move out of there, and all of that. And OP is well on his way to doing that. He's also still worried about his sister, understandably because of that creep, but unfortunately his parents and his sister did not take to his warnings. So now let's move on to the update to see what happened next and how the story ends, but before that I'll just say, playlist here, you can enjoy it after the video. Now let's move on. The last few days have been crazy, but to make it short, I'm already out of that house and had cut all contact with my family, and my mother is going crazy about that. After the post and all your comments that I appreciate a lot and want to thank every single one of you, I realized I was not in the wrong for feeling hurt and betrayed on so many levels and decided to move as soon as possible. As I said before, I already have a place, but I can't move there yet. So, with a lot of help from some of my friends and my brother's friends, I planned my way out. Those last days, I acted like a rock, trying to not show them any emotion, a thing that my mother took as a sign that I was finally getting over it. And she told me, if now you realize how easier and happier everyone's life is when you just stop being so dramatic. Every single word just made me realize how much I needed to get away from them. I waited until the last Sunday, and when everyone went to church, like the perfect happy family they pretend they are, I called my friends and moved all my stuff out of there. One of them offered to keep most of my stuff in his place, and I went to a nice hotel. Before leaving, I left a note on the table to my parents, basically saying how much they hurt me. Not only by siding with my ex and sister, but also by allowing and celebrating their affair, and by making me feel like I had no right to do or feel anything. That I realized how they actually never accepted me and how they are so homophobic that they rather see me hurt and suffering than happy with another man. I ended it by saying that I would be out of their lives, that I wouldn't contact them, and I expected them to not try to reach out to me and to please try to be good parents and take care of my sister, because I suspect he eventually will hurt her. That afternoon, I slept and rested. I had blocked all of them in any way I could think of, so they were unable to even know where I was. Now, from things that some friends and neighbors have told me, when they came back and realized what happened, my dad was furious. My mom had a meltdown, and my sister cried about me doing all this drama just to hurt her. They tried everything to contact me, called some relatives to try to find me, to the point that my dad called my brother, demanding answers and even ordering him to tell me that I must go back home, stop this nonsense and apologize, or there will be consequences. He told my dad that he didn't know anything and told me everything shortly after. I'm moving to my new place this Friday. I used these last days to relax, to think, and to be at peace with everything and myself. I'm still hurting. It had been 9 years of my life. Years I really believed I was with the one for me, and I'm sure I'm going to need more time to heal. I started therapy too, and it felt good talking about this and being told in person that it is okay to feel this way and I'm not the one in the wrong here. I had taken some time to think about it, and I started to think about all the times my ex and my sister interacted, all the times they were alone or he offered to be around her, trying to realize how it happened without me noticing and when it started. I know my ex is horrible. I'm sure now that he groomed her and that he only waited until she was legally an adult because, as I recently found, their affair started a few months after her 18th birthday. And despite that, I'm still worried about him hurting her, manipulating her, or doing something awful to her. Don't get me wrong, I'm still angry with both of them. I do not want to even see or be close to them, but she is still my little sister and I don't want her to suffer. I know it doesn't make sense, but I can't stop feeling this way. Anyways, I think I already wrote too much. I just wanted to give an update to all of the ones who asked for it. Again, thank you all for your support. OP, I gotta say that the way you're feeling, I think does make sense. Because you love her, and even though she sees you as the bad guy in this whole situation, that doesn't change it. For her sake, I hope she realizes what happened to her and that she gets out of that relationship before your scumbag ex does any more damage. And in the meantime, here's wishing you all the best in the future, OP. Please take care. And thank you for sharing. Now, let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the user Edim Nyon. Teach him how to do your job. Okay, boss. So this happened a good 15 years ago and another story just reminded me of it. As always, I am a native English speaker sitting at a keyboard, so any typos are my own damned fault. To keep it short, 15 years ago and after some changes, I worked for a local computer programming company that made automation software. Our company got bought out by a bigger national company, and after the dust settled, corporate decided that they were going to send a liaison down to our local office to learn how to do things to be a better bridge between offices. AKA, hey new hires, teach our guy how to do your job so we can let 3/4 of you go before next quarter. None of us were happy about that, but our new corporate overlords had spoken. A month or so later, here's our liaison fellow all ready to go. So, show me the interface, he said. Oh, that's when we all stopped, looked at each other and grinned. For, you see, the reason it took us so long to bring new people up to speed is that we didn't configure new projects. Configure in this corporate speak meant go check off the boxes in an interface until it does what you want. No, my good friends, we coded everything by hand. Our main program accepted straight up Visual Basic files, not even scripts, full-on files. And our new friend here was not a programmer at all. The guy didn't know a for loop from a bubble sort. So, as we were instructed, we started walking him through our code. Here's our X policy, it's the most common one we use, and it's about 1500 lines of code in its base form. Didn't you guys say you had some default policies you worked from? Oh yeah, but they end up being more trouble trying to customize than it is to just write the entire thing from scratch. So up here is where we are declaring our global variables. To our friend's credit, he tried. Oh, he tried for days, and every time we thought he was about to figure something out, we intentionally switched him up to an even worse one. We hired requiring a computer science degree, 6 months of on-site gearing up, and another 6 months of shadowing before we would let anyone handle a project on their own. This poor guy got the full year's worth of training in a week. To his credit, on his last day, he flat out told us he was sent down to learn how to replace us, but that he was going to tell them that we were doing a great job and if anything, our timeframes were surprisingly short given what we were doing. We ran that department for a good 5 years before the inevitable revolving door of upper management decided to bring in a new, easier to use suite. People are still kvetching about it. Man, I miss X. It could have done this in half the time. And instead of a 5-man team upkeeping everything, we have multiple departments that still can't manage to fix a broken image link in the new stuff 10 years later. Well, corporate wanted you guys to teach him how to do your job, and that's exactly what you did. Problem was he didn't have the right qualifications for the job. Oh, corporate, you old goof. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.